would say certified hot take award given out to Home Slice. The next one, I've said it a couple of times, and I'm sure this is a polarizing one. If the same person starts at 200 pounds and permabulks his weight is 308, he'll be stronger than a 200-pound person taking a moderate doses of strong androgens to a similarly lean 220 or 230. This is not across the board, but for presses and squats, it holds true. Not just the strength aspect, but literally changing your shape to a more optimal to move heavy objects around you. He's referring to the fact that when you thicken up, your bicep runs into your forearm a little earlier in the bench press, and especially on the squat, we start getting more structural stability where our hamstring hits our calf and our stomach hits our thighs, and we get this much more supported bottom position. So your physiology, past just the muscles, is improving your leverages potentially. Big Chris 2 on this platform is the quintessential example of when bloat maxing beats out trend blasting freaks. Yeah, absolutely. There's a certain amount of weight discrepancy to where a very high level natural power lifter in a high enough weight class is going to be outperforming the untested lifters in a lighter weight class. Now, how much of weight discrepancy is going to offset that difference? Who the hell knows? It varies from every individual, right? You know, there's the responsiveness to the androgens, which is going to vary from person to person. Like some people are going to get a very dramatic effect out of it. Some people are going to get a very lackluster effect out of it. So yeah, I would say that some amount of body weight discrepancy would probably give a natural lifter an advantage. It would probably have it easier to, let's say, hit a big bench press or let's say hit a big squat than a much lighter guy taking aggressive androgens, as you said. I would say most people would agree with that. I would say that most of the argument would come with the fact that, well, how much is that discrepancy? And it varies too much for me to throw something out there, and I don't think it's the best discussion in the world to have. One thing that does crack me up about Big Chris and that Andrew Richards guy is the fact that the comments are filled with simultaneously people saying that they're lying about being natural because, oh, Larry Wheels, you know, did this overhead press. Well, first of all, they're dumping all of their training economy into it, where Larry Wheels is and was a world record holding powerlifter that had to divert all of his training economy across his career against 3 lifts that aren't even the overhead press, and probably would have gotten a greater result had he been an overhead press specialist. And 2, yeah, there's a massive discrepancy in body weight there. So people will somehow say that this is not possible natural and they must be lying, but also say, wow, this is a 1x body weight overhead press. This is unimpressive. You kind of got to pick between those two. It's either unimpressive or it can't be done naturally. And that always cracks me up. But I'm going to say no hot take medal award for you because I don't think that fits the criteria of controversial enough. I would say that most people who actually kind of know their way around strength training would say, yeah, of course, at some point, a body weight differential is going to offset the effects of gear. If you buy into the numbers that Greg Knuckles has put out there, gear accounts for like a 10% variance in strength, and like a 5 weight class differential is going to account for a greater variance than 10%. You know, you could be the strongest juiced up 130-pound guy in the world. I'm going to guess they're not lifting as much as, let's say, Max, who's like 200 pounds heavier than them. You know, that, of course, that's going to you're going to run into that effect at some point. And I don't really care enough to debate where that point is because it's going to vary so much from person to person. We don't have a body of evidence. It would just be a weird circle jerk. The next one.